Thank you for taking out the time to meet with us today. What is your name?
Margie Orr.
What are some of the biggest obstacles that you feel the school district is facing?
Some of the biggest obstacles we're facing? Well, I would say those charter schools was one of our biggest obstacles. Because, you come in here and because we fund the charter schools, their funding comes from the school district. And if you're not giving our children providing for them in areas that we can't provide or whatever, then, you're not really needed. VOTEC, I forgot about VOTEC because, of course, we fund VOTEC because we have the largest amount of students going to VOTEC. If it wasn't for York City students going to VOTEC, it wouldn't be in existence. But it was a need for it because, like I said, years ago when we had to cut a lot of programs, VOTEC took up that area that we couldn't provide for the kids. But the charter schools in and of themselves, the for-profit charter schools, can't deal with for-profit people coming in here to rip us off with our money. And if you're not doing a good job with our kids, then that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. There's challenges for the school district. We're doing much better. We're actually doing much better financially. And like I said, we're going to implement more programs. We've been able to do well with the amount of monies that we get from the state. And of course, our tax revenue. And taxpayers want to know that their monies are being spent wisely to educate our students. So I would have to say that the district is doing quite well. Of course, we could use more, implement more things, to bring some of these kids back from charter. The one thing that charter schools tell us, the parents, is that our schools aren't safe and they don't want their kids coming to our schools and it's a neighborhood school. Well, if you've never been any of our schools, how do you know they're not safe? Because I beg to differ with you now on that point because our schools are one of the safest around the county. Because we have our own police officers in every one of our buildings. So our district is about the safest or one of the safest around this area. So give us a chance, see what we can do for your child. And my thing is, I wouldn't send my child to a charter school where all their teachers aren't certified. Now that just doesn't set well with me. And of course you can't teach in school districts in Pennsylvania without certification. So that's another challenge too. And like I said, we were successful in closing down Helen Thaxton recently, New Hope, several years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago. So, the other charter schools that are in existence, the ARCs, CEA's Youth Build, VOTEC, those schools are doing well because they're giving right back to the students. Lincoln Charter School, and we own that building where Lincoln Charter School is situated. We own that building. In fact, it was a neighborhood building, but they're doing well. We're doing well. So as long as they continue to give our kids the education that they need, we will support their charter.
And I remember you mentioning York Tech. With the way that York Tech is as far as, having classes for trade and, getting students the exposure that they need to certain career fields that they want, do you think that it will be possible in the future for the city to have a school of its own similar to York Tech?
That's where our STEAM Academy comes in. And eventually too, because we had basically a lot of those departments that VOTEC is offering. We had woodworking, engineering, all of those types of things that we had to get rid of from the high school. So we're hoping eventually, in years to come, that we'll be able to bring back a lot of those entities ourselves, a lot of those programs ourselves, so our kids can just stay right in our own district. But that's why we're so proud of the STEAM Academy, because of course that's what it's all about. That's the future. STEAM is the future. So yeah, I was just reading, I saw where Department of Ed Secretary Mr. Rivera came to visit York Votech, and he went to their STEM program, and what they're doing there, of course, is what we're doing out at Smith. It's what we're doing out at Smith. And every year we're adding on a new grade, because our STEAM Academy started from 3rd grade on up to 8th grade. And every year we're adding another grade. So come in a couple weeks, when school starts on the 20th, 9th graders will be going to our STEAM Academy. And every year after that, we're going to add a grade, 10th, 11th, 12th, until, if we see where we can, before that 12th year comes around, the 12th graders, we will move that STEAM Academy up to York High for them to have their own STEAM program. And then that's when all those other areas come into play. Yeah.
Due to the closing of Helen Thaxton, I know a lot of those students will be going to York High in the upcoming year. What provisions are being made to accommodate the influx of students that will be coming to York High?
Well, of course, we had to hire on some more staff with students coming. We're okay, because the majority of the students are actually going to York High. We will have a few, because Helen Thaxton went from grade 6 to 12th. So we will have a few going to the K-8 buildings, but the majority of them will be going to York High. So we've hired some more staff to cover those spots. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Yeah, there won't be a problem.
And in regards to the funding, what are some things that will be that it will be used for, as far as like programs and things of that sort?
Okay, as far as the funding goes, because for our last budget year, well, the upcoming budget year, because we weren't sure what was going to happen with Helen Thaxton and with the other programs that we wanted to implement, we had to take away our after-school program. And that was a decision. It couldn't be helped, because we have our priorities in place as to what we want to give the kids, and what would be best suited for them. So we couldn't put the after-school program into our budget. But with the closing of Helen Thaxton, that has allowed us to refund that program. And that was a vital part of our services for our children, because they looked forward to having that program after school, and we had it in all our buildings. The library, actually, they provides the staffing for our after-school program. Of course, we provide the food, because we give these children a dinner before they go home. So they get a fun time, they get homework time, mentoring time, and then they get dinner before they go home, because the program is over at 6:30. It's from 4 to 6:30. So by then, I know they're tired. They're ready to go home, because the program starts right after school is over. So these kids, but they enjoyed it. They have a good time with our after-school program. And we have a waiting list. We can't do it for all of our students. We wish we could. But that's where more funding would come into play, too, from the state, that we could provide more space and more funding for our after-school programs.
And as we spoke about before, what with all these changes that are happening and the certain plans that are going to be put into place in the next few years, do you feel as though the school district will continue to be moving into this positive upward direction?
Oh yes. I have a good board in place. Our board is very, insightful. We work hard because most of my board work. It's just myself and my vice president who have the most time. But I can't say I have the most time on my hands now because I'm busy every day. But the district is going in a good direction, is doing well, and it's going to get better. We're trying to get this district back to where it was years ago when I was basically in school and years before you even came on play. So we're doing well. We know we can do it. We have a good staff, teachers, our superintendent and his administrators. As long as we can depend on the teachers and all the staff to do what they need to do for our children, it will be great. It'll be great.
Is York High the most underfunded school in the county?
Yes, it is. York High is the most underfunded school in Pennsylvania, actually. Yes. York City schools are the most underfunded in Pennsylvania, and like I said, that's saying a lot. That we have been able to do all the things that we've done with the kind of funding that we get. And of course, that's why, our tax rates are high. And for the last, 4 or 5 years, we haven't gone up on our taxes. York City has a lot of older people living in the city. So, of course, we're trying to look out for our seniors living in the city. But, and we do get, as long as the state can keep helping us the way they should help us, and we keep going along the lines that we're going and forming partnerships. We have great partnerships with a lot of churches coming in to help the K-8 buildings. That's a great thing in and of itself. And as long as we keep those partnerships going, and like I say, I'm expecting great things out of our Bearcat Association, Alumni Association. As long as we can keep these things moving in the right direction, this district will survive. It will be once again a spot to be reckoned with, a district to be reckoned with. We're hoping to eventually that we can even, in the long run, even get our swimming pool up and going again up there at York High. That's what one of our focuses are going to be, to get that swimming pool up and going again. Our sports, we're so proud we were able, because years ago we had to cut some of our sports away, and then some of our kids came to us and said, can we have soccer? Can we have baseball? Can we do all that? Because years ago we did have baseball, we never had soccer. So proud to announce that soccer starts this month, actually, their first game. Boys and girls soccer. That's exciting in itself. Baseball, softball. So we were able to bring back more sports. See, that's saying that we really know how to handle our finances, that we can bring things back like that with the monies that we have. Yes, I'm excited to go and watch the kids play soccer. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Yeah, because it's not just about football and basketball. There's other sports that the kids enjoy doing, and we want to have all that here for them.
Along with with this strong support system, how crucial is it to have not only student and teacher involvement, but also parent involvement in making sure that the progress of these programs are maintained?
That's a good point right there. Parent involvement. Come on, parents. We need your involvement. It's not like it should be. And it's your child that's trying to get that. We're trying to give a good education too. So you should be right on top of that. You should be right on top of that yourself. I mean, my mom back in the day was a member of the PTA, all of that. she was involved. Going to the schools and see that we were doing the right thing. My youngest brother used to give her such a hard time in school, and she's always getting calls, always getting calls from the principal. Mrs. Orr, you need to come up here and get with your son William. Well, it's not like it is now. My mom went up there and gave him a good thrashing right in the classroom in front of the kids. Never had another day of problems out of my youngest brother. Never did she ever have another problem out of him. And we never gave our parents any problems going to school, but of course it's not like that now. But parents need to take a good hard look at themselves. We're not your built-in babysitter. You're supposed to be our partner with this. This is not a one-way street here. We're doing all we can and everything we can to provide your child with a good education, but you've got to step up to the plate and do your part too and partner with us, because things would go so much better if that would happen. And that's one of the problems that we have, that parents aren't coming out the way they should. And we're working on it. We're working on it, because this would be another part of our Bearcat Association, to get these parents more involved with their children. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for your time once again.
Okay, you're welcome. Mm-hmm.